time you're tuning in, man, hey, I am going to react to Tripoli. At my work, I gotta sneak this in right quick, man, before it gets too dark, because I didn't bring no light. And, before all my. Okay. This is a where they invite people in the circle, like you see right there on the video. And it's one person debating 25 people. So the 25 people around around the circle is pro-choice. The one person is pro-life. So the one person sitting on the table, they said 20 minutes. When the 20 minutes over, they do another. They put another. She puts like the person who's sitting right there brings another topic to talk about. So the first topic, I'm gonna let her, say it, and let's go, let's get it.
It does break my heart that if you're sharing you had an abortion, that there could be a child, I don't know how old they'd be, 10 years old today, who would be cheering you on, saying, go get him, Mom, you got this.
I can promise that would not be the case. With your statistic and your information,
your baby had a right to live.
You don't get to speak for my child. You don't get to speak for my child. Let's start right there.
Hey everybody, I'm Lila Rose. I am the president and founder of Live Action. I am a mom of 3, a wife, and the host of the Lila Rose podcast. And today I'm surrounded by 25 pro-choice activists. My first claim is abortion leaves women scarred for life.
True. Always true.
Hey. Hello. What's your name?
Julia.
Julia, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so.
You know how it's true? Because I seen women who like when they have like a miscarriage, how it breaks their hearts, when they really want the baby and then they miscarriage, how it really hurts. Imagine somebody, you get convinced to go, abort your baby legally, and then later on you think you're not gonna have scars. Yes, you will, because you start thinking, where my baby will be this age or this time, 25 years from now, or 10 years or 5 years from now. You're still thinking about it. You'll be thinking about it. Hey, if my baby will be this age, whatever.
From my understanding is scar means permanent, and I would argue that life is permanent. And so by not allowing women to an abortion, you're basically saying you have to have this permanent being that exists in this world.
Death is also permanent. And that's what a lot of women struggle with, especially on the anniversary of when that baby would have been born. For many women, again, I've talked to hundreds just personally, but there are thousands and millions more out there. On the anniversary of when that baby would have been born, 1, 2, 3, 4 years old, there's deep regret and pain, and some struggle with mental illness afterwards or other struggles, or they have fertility issues. There have been several studies done that show that women have higher suicidality who have abortions than that women that give birth. There's a California study, which is 200,000 Medicaid patients, 150% more likely to commit suicide if they had an abortion than if they had given birth.
Right. So I think.
So what do you think about that?
So I have a lot. I have a lot of thoughts about that. I also want to talk about the fact that, from my understanding, is you did go undercover into Planned Parenthoods, and I have many friends that work at Planned Parenthood.
She won't answer that question. She will deflect. That's what they do. They deflect. They don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to answer the question the right way. If you ask them a hard question, they will start getting offended. And I never see any pro-life get offended. Only pro-choicers gets offended. So,
which honestly, I'd feel a little unsafe if someone was like going undercover to mask something.
Do you know
also,
what we
the other
were
thing is
exposing in the abortion clinics?
Oh, hold on a minute. I think abortion's not an easy choice for women. I don't go, oh, you know what do I want to do today? So go see a movie or have an
why
abortion.
Isn't it an
it's not an easy choice, girl. Like,
why is abortion not an easy choice?
It's not an easy choice for any woman.
Why?
Why? Because you are literally deciding your own future on your own terms, and we're allowing women the choice.
And why is that decision so heavy? For example,
also,
I could go in.
The decision's heavy because you're asking.
I could go in and get a wisdom tooth removed, and I'm not going to have
an elective choice, much like an abortion.
I'm not going to have this heavy decision around it. Why is abortion such a uniquely heavy decision?
Why are women the only ones having to choose these, and we're shamed instead of men? Because the men who are committing.
Why men paying child support though? I didn't choose. When I say I don't want to have this baby with you, and you choose to have the baby, why would I have? Why do I ended up paying child support? But if I want the baby, you can get to do whatever you want.
Acts of assault. Let's see. I don't think they're father of the year, quite frankly. If they're committing acts of violence against women,
we are in total agreement on that. We're in total agreement on that.
Okay, you're a mother. How many adopted children do you have?
I don't have any adopted children.
Okay, so what about all the children that are forced? Okay, so great. Let's call up the agency tomorrow. It'll take a couple years to go through the adoption process.
Well,
leaving children in foster care into the system.
Are you aware
that thus affects them and causes scarring against the women that have to make that choice?
There are 2 million families who would like to adopt a newborn baby and they can't.
Okay, are you helping them? Because if you're providing resources,
we do promote and help that. But you know what? You know the reason why they can't adopt. The reason they're not able to adopt.
Yeah, let me let her say it. Yeah, I was about to say.
Is because we have 1 million abortions a year. Our country kills children.
If there were access to safe abortions, I would say that a scarring exists.
And those are all legal abortions. To be clear, those 1 million abortions a year are all being done legally.
You're Catholic, right?
I am.
Are you not going to feel Catholic guilt when all the women are dying in parking lots from illegal abortions?
So women are dying right now from legal abortions. Women who take the abortion pill, 30,000 of them are going into the emergency room every year because of the abortion, the legal abortion pill.
Doctors are now in fear of malpractice.
The media is lying to you guys. The media is lying to you guys because legal abortion kills women. It killed Tanya.
It do. And when somebody says the media is lying to you, you need to believe it because they've been lying for years. They don't talk about it. The scar that a woman when after they have abortion, they don't talk about it. They don't even report it. It's just maybe somebody makes a note of it and post it on the internet or whatever, on the web, whatever, and that's it. People like her, they come out and they talk about it. And they show you videos. I'll be watching videos from her. Man, it's sad the way, they take apart.
Reeves and a Chicago Planned Parenthood.
I have a lot of friends who had abortions. They're live. I was talking to them yesterday. They're pretty chill. They're actually pretty great. They're in therapy because they made that choice to have children when they are ready to have children.
There's tens of thousands of women who go to emergency rooms because of the abortion pill. There are dozens of women who die from
if they had safe access in education, sex education early on.
Those were
women and men
legal abortions that they were having.
Men and women would have access to education to understand sex.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
What's your name?
Demi.
Demi, nice to meet you.
And watch all of them has a problem.
So I just want to clear it up.
Nobody
when you
wants
say
to
scarring
learn.
for life, what do you mean?
I mean, it leaves at minimum emotional wounds on many women and some of them physical wounds.
I think something to focus on is the emotional part. It's the shame that you get from pro-life activists. I know what it's like to go to Planned Parenthood and walk out and then see people protesting, calling the women murderers, chanting religious prayers at them. I think that's what's the scarring part emotionally.
So I've had the privilege of interviewing now almost 1,000 women who've had abortions and hearing their stories. And many of them share about how everyone told them it was the right thing to do, that there was nobody opposing it, and they had the abortion.
But you run a pro-life
and then years later, and this is their story, and then years later they would say,
focusing on people.
Well, this is their story, not mine. And they would tell me, and they would report about how after their abortion, sometimes it would be years later, they would remember it, and they would say,
"What about the other stories out there who don't regret?"
Or they would face mental health challenges. They'd face addiction.
Yeah, but what are the people who
Some
don't?
of them would face infertility.
You're not interviewing the people who don't regret it, who think that their life would have been worse off if they didn't get the abortion.
So I think if what you're saying is there's someone.
They don't regret it. They do regret it. Nobody gonna come out, and only people with hearts, they'll come out and say I regret it. The people with no heart, with no soul, they come out and they say they happy. Like some like when you ask questions, oh, they be like, I don't regret. I will do it again. Women.
Women who don't regret it. I think it's absolutely true. There are some women who would maybe sit right here and say, I had an abortion, I don't regret it at all, it was great. But that doesn't mean that abortion isn't leaving women scarred for life, because it is.
But you're generalizing
those
it,
stories
saying that's
usually
like
aren't
all women.
Those stories aren't usually made or told by typical media groups. Usually in media and in the entertainment world, you hear the stories of the women that are saying abortion is great, it empowers me. There are thousands and thousands of women who experience bitter abortion regret.
People,
and then there's also
women can have abortions and they want to have kids in the future, but they know that they're not in the position for it right then and now, so they can have guilt, they can feel sorry, but that's not all women, and that's totally valid.
I think there's a stigma today, if I may, I think there's a stigma today on a lot of women that they can't share their abortion regret, because society's telling them that abortion's your right, it's empowering, it's a reproductive freedom, and so if you have abortion regret, there's not really a space to share that
stigma. You're feeding into the harmful narrative.
What harmful narrative?
That women are getting abortions and then that they shouldn't feel regret about it because they're murderers, and that they should own up to their actions. That's what the pro-life people are arguing.
I think what our narrative, if you want to call it that, is to say this is a human life. The science tells us this. It's always wrong to take a human life, and abortion does leave deep scars on a lot of women. Thank you. What's your name?
Hi, nice to meet you. My name's India.
India, nice to meet you.
Okay, so when you say that abortion leaves women scarred for life, I have had an abortion before. I had an abortion actually a week before my 21st birthday. I'm a young black woman in America, come from a low-income family. I'm also adopted.
How do you feel about your abortion?
How do I feel about my abortion? That's what I'm about to tell you. So I wouldn't want to have to make the decisions of what's next after a child is born. I personally did not feel like I was in the proper mental state, financial state.
So it's financial, and who speaks for the baby you just, murdered?
Emotional state, physical state. I did not feel like I was in the best of any of those states to be able to bear a child, to be a parent, exactly. My circumstance was a little bit different with the father of would have been child. He actually wanted me to keep the child, but I chose not to because of my body.
I'm curious if you considered adoption.
I absolutely did. But like I said, based on my testimony and what I've experienced, I grew up in a home with foster children in and out. I have an adopted brother as well. We're 2 years apart. During my foster stay at my home, which is now my lifelong home that I've been at, I've seen all different kinds of circumstances.
Sad.
I've seen babies having withdrawals. I've seen babies who come from rape victims. I've seen all of it. I've seen all of it, you name it. It's not the best environment that in my opinion, that I would want to raise a child in, okay? I have friends who have multiple children and they're struggling because they don't have the resources that they need. They don't have the proper support system that they need. The whole thing about this pro-life and pro-choice, it's not I'm choosing to kill this baby. Pro-choice is the choice of what I want to do with my body, not what you think I should do with my body. Wait, I'm not done yet. So anyways, what I want to do with my body, who are you to judge me? I go to church. I'm actually a new member of the church, which is funny. I didn't believe in God a couple years ago.
That's great that you're going to church.
Thank you. And the decision that I made maybe wasn't the thing that I 100% wanted to do. It was definitely something.
What do you mean? Did you feel pressured to have the abortion?
No, absolutely not, because everybody around me was in support of whatever I did, especially my mother and especially the father of the child. But I didn't feel pressured at all. In fact, I felt as if it was harder to make the decision based on how I'm gonna feel. Exactly. And as you're saying, women are scarred from this. I don't feel scarred. I definitely have an effect from it, but I don't think that saying that's what she's saying. Procedure scars women for life, because you don't know what I'm going through up here. Absolutely not. I don't care who you are, what you stand for, what organization you're behind.
I'd love to respond to what you're saying.
You don't get to judge me.
I'd love to respond. The flags are going up, and I'd love to respond before you go.
But my whole point is, you have absolutely no idea what people go through.
So she's not gonna let you talk unless you cut her off. Look at her. She's just angry for no reason, mad for no reason. She's not gonna let you talk. She just wanna come here, tell her story, and don't judge. This is my truth. It's not, not to be judged.
I understand you're experiencing, and you're telling me your experience, which is important. Everybody's experience is important.
Absolutely.
A lot of the women that I've had the privilege of talking to, their abortion wasn't yesterday. Their abortion was a couple years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. As you get older, you get more established in your life. You're a young woman.
And I'm not saying that that's not going to affect me later down the line, but what I am saying...
Well, that's the key, right? Because we make big decisions, right? Especially when we're young, we can make big decisions. They have an effect down the line. And so my advocacy is to saying, this is a big decision. This is a human life.
But is it your right to make the decision for me, or to say what decision is right? Because God is the only one that can actually judge me, and based on my beliefs, He's the only one that's supposed to say it's right or wrong.
It's not my right to tell you what to do with your personal life, but it is the government's responsibility to protect the right to life of every life in this country.
100% with what you're saying.
Do you want the government to protect you from being killed?
You know, I want God to
you
protect me from everything evil in this world. Absolutely.
Do you think you have a right to life?
God will protect you for everything evil in this world, but God put in place people like police, firefighters, soldiers to protect. You know, they're not just there for no reason. God gives wisdom for the people to protect themselves. Yeah.
I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee that I'm not going to walk out this door and get shot in the head.
But do you think that if somebody tries to do that, you would hope someone would intervene?
Honestly, I'm just going to pray for the best.
Well, I would hope someone would intervene, and I want to live in a country
Honestly,
where
I don't think you would,
there would be a penalty for that person that might hurt you.
If you really wanted somebody to intervene with the protection of life, you would be kind of, getting more background on these women and why they do the things that they do.
Well, I think yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
Hi. What's your name?
Audrey.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so do you know the number one emotion women get after having an abortion is relief?
Are you referring to the Turnaway study with that information?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So the Turnaway study has been heavily debunked because it's done by those that support abortion, and they said they were going to follow 1,000 women to see if there was an abortion regret after their abortions. Only 150 women would complete the study with them. The rest of them dropped off, some of them struggling with issues maybe connected to that abortion, but only 150 completed it. So that's a survey of only 150 women. And again, I think we need to look at women at large and their experiences, and there will be some women who say, well, I feel great, I'm good, this is good, I don't regret it. And then there's a lot of women whose stories aren't being told.
But you don't look at women at large with their experiences.
That's what we do. And those women deeply regret their abortions, they feel scarred by their abortions. Some of them suffer mental health issues afterwards.
That's not true at all. 95% of people who got abortions said it was the right decision for them.
You're referring to the Turnaway study, which is
that
only
is a
following
statistic. You could search that up.
I think it's better to look at a study like the Medicaid study in California. 200,000 women, not 150 women doing a study with a pro-abortion group. It was a California 200,000 survey of women. Of those that had abortions, they were 150% more likely to commit suicide than those that gave birth and did not have abortions. In Finland, there were 2 studies done of women there that found that women who had abortions had a higher likelihood of committing suicide than women who did not have abortions. People deserve to know this.
Okay.
Women deserve to know this because when they have an abortion, that's a huge life-altering decision, not just for ending the life of a baby, but it's life-altering for the woman.
It is life-altering for the woman because, pregnancy is a big deal. Having a baby
is a big deal.
Having a baby is very, very expensive. And if you're willing to put survivors, children on top of that, and the shame that they have to go through, forcing an 11-year-old to go through a pregnancy, and yes, they're not forced to be a parent,
Extreme.
but the adoptive and foster care systems are very, very broken.
So my friend Liana Rebeledo, she was brutally in a gang at age 12. She went to the doctor, she found out she was pregnant, she had severe mental health issues, suicidality from the trauma of the rape, right? She goes to the doctor says, you're pregnant, and the doctor says, do you want an abortion? And she says, will the abortion take away the trauma of that? The horror I feel in my body.
But that's her choice, though. But that's her choice.
And the doctor said, let me just finish what she said. And the doctor said, no, it will not. He was honest with her. And she said, why would I take the life of this baby because of the trauma that I endured?
Not everybody will experience.
It's a belief, but it's also a fact that it was a human being inside her. It was an innocent third party because of that.
So
these people don't understand. You cannot go to the extreme. Speak for the little percentage, like the 1%. You speak for the majority, like for the 90% of the people who gets an abortion and they don't even care, and later on in life They just, partying everywhere, and when they get tired later on in life, start regretting, taking all kinds of medicine, or have a suicide attempts, dying for me, all that. So she's using an extreme rape, incest, all those just 1%. And if your child gets raped, I have kids, right? Just for example, she gets, gang raped or get raped. Why would I, and then she gets pregnant, why would I tell her to abort? In that same situation, is he gonna take the trauma away though? I don't think so. So why would I tell her to abort? It's crazy.
Perpetrated upon her.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Hi, what's your name?
Jax Prince. Nice to
Jax,
meet you.
nice to meet you. I'm Lila.
So, based off, you've given incredible points. Genuinely and truly, I'm learning quite a bit.
Thank you.
So, for the people that you say have the abortion young, how old do I look, out of curiosity?
You're never supposed to answer that, right?
No, go ahead. By all means.
Will you tell me you'll do me if I do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
deal.
All right, you are 25.
I appreciate that. Add about 10 more years. So,
Okay.
by
You
your
look
logic,
awesome.
thank you.
You look amazing.
By your logic, I should be in that age range of people who abort, let's say, who should be feeling the regret and everything. If I had carried to term, I would be labeled a.
If she gets if she get defended, however you say it, she's. At the beginning of the video, it looks like she did have an abortion, but she gonna be offended when the pro-life gave her the truth. Watch this.
Drug-addicted black mother, and if I had kept the baby, I would have been labeled a incompetent single mother. So my question for you is, what is your perception of how I should feel about my abortion?
So a couple things. First of all, sometimes the regret happens later in life. It's not within even 5 or 10 years. The trauma they feel might come out later when they have their own other children or grandchildren. So every woman, it's going to be different. Sometimes it's immediate, sometimes it takes years. I think you're amazing. I think if that's what you've overcome in your life, I think that's incredible. And you should be proud of overcoming so many tough things in your life. It does break my heart that if you're sharing you had an abortion, that there could be a child, I don't know how old they'd be, 10 years old today, who would be cheering you on, saying, go get him, Mom, you got this.
I can promise you that would not be the case, because I can almost promise you that would not be the case. Because I say again, I'm in a domestic violence shelter. I've got a dog I can barely take care of. You're you're expecting me to sit here and let you tell me how I'm supposed to feel. You're trying to scare me.
I'm not telling you how to feel.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not telling you how to feel.
With your statistics.
Literally, she asked the question, and she answered the question. Now, you get offended?
I'm telling you that your
with
baby,
your statistic,
your
your
baby
had a right to
information,
live.
with your statistic and your information,
your baby had a right to live.
You are completely wrong, because yes,
and I wish someone
yes.
had been helping you more.
Listen,
that's
listen,
the other thing.
listen, but you weren't there. That's just
help.
it. Everybody always likes to say, "Oh, keep the baby, give it up for adoption." I know what our foster care system is like.
But when you,
you can't tell me I would have a child cheering me on.
Just when you place a child for adoption,
hold on, you're not going to
go
speak.
into foster care.
You don't get to speak for my child. You don't get to speak for my child.
Nobody's speaking for your child.
Let's start right there. You don't get to speak for my child.
Nobody is speaking for your child, though. Somebody got to. Somebody got to speak for your child. Nobody's speaking for them. She or her, whatever. He's his, whatever.
It's like, oh, mommy would be cheering you on or everything like that. You don't fucking know that. You don't know that at all. You don't know what my child would be. I may not even have my child, because I was so unfit at the time. Drug addiction, sex work, everything like that. Yes, I'm a proud pro-ho. That is exactly what I do. But you're telling me how my child would feel. And what gives you the right? What gives you the right? What gives you the right?
I would love to respond to you. I think, yes, your child had a right to life. And I would say that I wish there were more people helping you at the time. It sounds like you were at a really rough time in your life. And I think that you mattered, that baby mattered, and you both deserved more help. That's what I would say.
That's what you would say. But you're saying my child
Thank
would be
you.
cheering me on
I would
right now.
hope that if you chose to parent.
That's the thing.
If
You just
chose
said
to
you would
parent.
hope.
I would hope
you
that.
would hope. So all of this is going off of hope.
Please return to your seat.
She had nothing else to say, bro. I swear to God. It's sad.
Hello, what's your name? Miriam. Miriam, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I just want to start off, and you're saying that a lot of women have abortion regret, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you about what happened to my best friend's mom. She had a late-term abortion, which I know you don't find morally acceptable. But
sad.
How far along was she?
I'm not sure the exact week, but she was told that her child would not live for more than 1 hour. However, if she gave birth to that child, she would never be able to have children again. That is literally what they told her. I'm so glad that she was able to get an abortion because my best friend wouldn't be alive if her mother wasn't able to have an abortion before she was even born. So I just there are
That's
some
not
women
abortion.
who regret abortions, but we shouldn't just ban all abortions because of some of those women regretting it.
So
there are many women.
I'd love to respond. I've heard so many stories of medical professionals who tell the woman, you have to have an abortion, X, Y, and Z is their opinion, right? Mm-hmm. And then I talk to many other medical professionals. If I can finish, I talk to many other medical professionals who say, if you have a high-risk pregnancy or there's a disability that the baby has, there is healthcare for you to protect both your life and the baby's life. That's what women deserve. They don't deserve to be told by the abortionist or the doctor, just kill this baby, that's the solution, have the abortion. So we can do better for both the mom and the baby.
But isn't she protecting
Dr. Anthony,
life?
just as an example, Dr. Anthony Levatino, he worked with tens of thousands of high-risk pregnancies in upstate New York, dealing with these very high-risk pregnancies. He said in the number of pregnancies where we had to do an abortion was 0. Sometimes we would have to do an early delivery, but we would never have to intentionally kill the baby to deal with the health risk for the mother.
So medically necessary, right?
So correct. And so as an example, your friend, right? You said she had a late-term abortion because her baby had a health issue and was going to die, and then otherwise she would have an issue. The doctor and Dr. Anthony Levatino, as an example, could have done an early delivery to give that baby a chance at life instead of intentionally killing that baby in utero.
I don't understand how you can sit here across the
There are
table
thousands of medical professionals who fight for both the life of the baby and the mother.
You can't tell me what my best friend's mother could have had done to her.
She
You brought that up.
She deserved better medical care than what she was told. That was
You brought that up. Why y'all keep bringing stuff up? And when she answers the right way, you gets offended. You cannot tell what my friend, mom, blah, blah, blah. You brought that up. So let her. Hey, it is what it is. Fair game if you bring it up. It would be wrong for her to bring it up if she know you. Bruh, you brought that up and she don't even know you.
Choice.
And she wasn't given a choice.
She was given a choice.
No, they told her you're gonna die. They told her you have to have this abortion. That's what they told her.
Informing her medically, she cannot deliver children if she had not had that abortion.
Did you know
so
that?
Why do you think that
when
she should have a
just to be clear, in a late-term abortion, you have to remove the baby, right?
Yes.
And what is the difference between a late-term abortion where you remove the baby dead and an early delivery where you can remove the baby alive? One is an abortion and one is a life-saving act. What she deserved was a life-saving act for both her and that baby. And an early delivery could have been what she needed.
I agree because she wanted that child.
And that's why it's devastating that they told her that. It's wrong that they told her that.
No, but they were right.
No, how can you say that when there are
because
thousands of medical professionals who say that abortion is not medically necessary? It's not my opinion. It's thousands of medical professionals who say that.
That's time.
I appreciate that, but you're not a doctor and you weren't her doctor.
There's thousands of medical professionals who say you can care for both mother and baby.
That's fine, but it's you.
Can doctors be wrong?
Doctors can be wrong. Can you be wrong?
Thank you, man, for watching, man. This is an amazing episode, man. I watched you probably for years, but this one here touches me. All right, man. Thank you. I will see you on part 2.